So that was quite a project. I remember being there when the Boulets told me their idea. So we had it here on Hey Qween TV. And what a great lineup of queens. Very diverse,
Yes.
very all sorts of different types of drag. How did you first hear about the Dragula, that it was happening?
Well, I mean, I've always known of the Boulay brothers because of the Dragula nights they had at Precinct.
Right.
And I know about the pageants. I had a few friends that I know that have done it before. And one time they reached out to me. They were like, hey, Melissa, we'd like to talk to you. We have a project coming up. I'm like, okay, cool. Show up, and they showed me a video first. But it was just like a teaser of like what they had in mind. And then they were like, would you like to be part of it? And I'm like, sure, why not? They gave me a little rundown of like how it was gonna be. So I did like a little quick
like an audition video?
Audition tape, yeah, like a little audition real quick, and then they called me. I was in I was in Colorado. I had a gig over there, and they called me and they were like, hey Melissa, you're in the first season for Dragula. Congratulations, we're gonna send you the contract, whatever. So I filled it out, and it was quite a ride. Yeah, it was.
I bet. Now, when you were starting it, did you, because obviously horror and filth was not necessarily in the wheelhouse that you were doing when you were performing all over the place. How did you approach preparing?
I didn't know what I was getting myself into. Episode 1, episode 2, I was just, episode 1, I went in and like, oh, I'm gonna let this bitches have it. I got this, you know, I'm this, I'm well polished. But that competition had nothing to do with being polished or wearing something like pure shit, you know? So my first and second episode, I was just thrown off. I was just like, I don't know what the fuck to do. What am I wearing? And definitely, I was like, I need to like step it up and, you know, kind of go with what they're telling me to do. And then until episode 3 happened with the whole zombie challenge, that's where it kind of was like, okay, this is where you're gonna have to, this is where you're gonna get dirty and get ugly.
Right.
So I did the whole Mexican pregnant lady giving birth to a kid, zombie stuff.
Well, we actually have a picture of you in that Zombies in Death Valley episode 3. Let's take a look. So that's definitely far out of the Melissa you were used to painting
like
and being.
That to this, you know, like that was way out of my comfort zone. And then once they told me that they actually, I won that challenge too. Me and Vander won the challenge. So I was like, okay, this is what I have to do. Got it, beat.
Right, because episode 2, you were in the bottom.
Yes.
And that must have been kind of like, because you were like, I'm about to slay this. These people are going to have it. I don't care. I'll put a little blood and let's do this. But then that kind of was that a wake-up call for you?
Oh, definitely, yes. I was in the bottom 2, and I had to do that whole mud wrestling challenge.
Then tell me about the mud wrestling challenge and what was going through your mind.
I was just like, what the fuck? Like, I'm looking at the pool, and they just keep staring at like they're getting it ready for us to jump on that shit. And then I'm just like, what the fuck are we gonna get? We're gonna do? You know? They just say, oh, just wrestle each other. But I said, wrestle? I said, I'm a fight, girl. Girl, I whooped Sochi's ass so bad. The next week, she came back all sore. She was like, bitch, she knocked me out. Like, she hit me in the back. She was in pain. But I was like, girl, I gotta do what I gotta do to stay in this competition. And if I gotta whoop your ass, I'm gonna whoop your ass, girl. Let's go.
And so you decided at that moment that you were going to just be out of the box, get out of your comfort zone, and you went into that next episode with the zombies, and you went for it.
Yeah, I went for it all the way. I won, and that kind of kept me in the competition.
Mm-hmm. So what was one of the highlights of that early part? Was it that zombie one when you won? And had you worked with that prosthetics and things like that before?
Well, my best friend owns a beauty school, a makeup school, and she teaches, one of her lessons is special effects. So, and she kind of taught me how to like do little things here and there, and then that's where I picked it up from. And I was kind of able to like work a little bit with it. But I'd never done it before, which is not in my thing to do. But I'm glad that she did, because I was able to do what I did for that challenge, and I pulled it out. Really, everyone like threw me under the bus at the Last Supper. Everyone said that I didn't belong there and that I didn't deserve the crown. And I was like, okay, y'all bitches want to throw me under the bus. I gotcha. And that's what I was like, I gotta turn this looks out.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny? That the nun was the last look that I put together. Which it wasn't a look, it was just a piece of cloth over my head and just some damn rosary up my booty hole.
Right. Tell me about what it was like to jump into such a fierce pool of divas and have it all be filmed and everybody turning it up to 10. Because, you know, you're filming the behind the scenes, the dressing room stuff. What was that experience like for you?
Definitely something new. I've never actually been on camera the way we were on camera to Dragula. And there was a lot of personalities in that room, definitely, for sure. And then I think the only person that I didn't get along was with Dolores and maybe a little bit Ursula, because they were always kind of like, gave me the back, like be shady towards me, which I didn't give a fuck, you know. And that's why I had to put Dolores in her place. But it was an experience for sure. It was a lot of going on. It was a lot.
People were coming hard.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, people even behind the camera, behind the scenes, you know, the audience were like always coming for me. I would always receive hate messages.
Really?
Yeah, because Loris is amazing at what she does. She's fierce as fuck. But and then she has, of course, she has a lot of followers, and everyone didn't like the fact that I came for her. So ever since then, people kind of like came for me online, like attacking me, leaving me nasty comments, and I mean, which I don't care. You know, comments are comments to me. They're just whatever to me. But I'm glad that I let Loris have it because it kind of made everyone let them know that not to fuck with me. You know, like, bitch, don't fuck with me.
Right.
Yeah.
There's nothing like having any kind of conflict with someone, having it recorded for posterity so that you can have people rediscover it and still be mad about it or whatever
Exactly.
5 years later.
Yeah, I mean, everyone was being so nice when the Boulay brothers asked who should go home. Everyone was being so sweet. And I was like, girl, like, you guys talk so much shit behind camera about Loris, and you guys have the chance to say something here, and you guys are not taking it. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. So I went for it.
You said that you didn't think you were gonna win. You knew you weren't gonna win.
Yes. I knew that going in the competition, I knew that I wasn't a Dragula girl, because I wasn't involved in that whole scene, the whole filth, horror, all that stuff. My drag is very glamorous, very well put together, polished. And so going in the competition, I was like, fuck it, just go for it. You never know what you're gonna learn from it. So I did it, and the Last Supper, I already knew that I wasn't gonna win because the level of where Vander was at, it was like, this bitch is like up here. Like her creativity, her mind, it's fucking amazing at what she does. And I already knew that I wasn't gonna get it. But I did it just to shut everyone up because of whoever told me that I wasn't gonna be able to pull it out or be able to like represent Dragula. I did it because of that, to shut them up. And I'm glad I did it because people, I think after that, people respected me a little bit more than what they did before, not thinking that I wasn't gonna be able to be part of the cast, you know? So I'm glad I pulled out what I pulled out, and I think I shut the girls up.
Yes.
Yeah, and you know what? For the reunion that we did with you, Qween, I'm glad that Pinche said something to the girls because it shut them up. Because it's true, everyone came for me, but I think that I know that I'm the most versatile queen out of everyone in the cast.
You definitely are, because
Yeah.
you started coming in a hardcore glamour queen,
Yeah.
and you went out with the rosary up your ass, and you showed that you could do it all.
Yeah. So yeah, it was definitely a memory I can like take with me forever. Like right here.
What's your favorite memory or favorite challenge or favorite look from that experience?
I would say the Pretty in Pink challenge because it was right up my alley. It was right up my alley, and then they said, pretty in pink. I was like, oh, I got this. I got this.
This I have in my backpack, y'all. I have this down.
Yeah, I got it. I was like, I got this, and I was like, I think I was in second place because Pincha won that challenge, which I'm glad she did because she was already kind of like in hot water too, and I did the Pretty in Pink challenge, and I was fine. I was saved, and then I was able to go to the next challenge. So I was like, I got this. I got this.
So after Dragula came out, did it do what you were hoping it would do? I mean, people certainly started to know you more and know your work.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I got to travel to all over the U.S., in which I'm thankful for because I got to meet a lot of people that were following me. I got to work with a lot of entertainers, which it's amazing. But yeah, a lot of people got to see who I was.